The Rings of Power Season 2 trailer has dropped, and we're going to react to it, give our thoughts, and give our critical analysis once we watch it, all right? I know a lot of people have a lot of thoughts about this show, and we do as well. So stick around to hear those. Let's react to this.
Sauron sees himself as master of all Middle-earth.
That's Halbrand.
He seeks to rule it not only through conquest, but by bending the minds of all its peoples to his own. And for that he needs not armies.
No!
But rings.
Elrond.
I'm so confused,
Choosing
man.
to wear those rings, you have all become his collaborators.
I know you believe this ring is deceiving me, but I believe it is guiding me.
All this may be by his design.
These rings may be how he attains power.
They must be destroyed.
We will discuss the rings once you have answered the question. Who is this man?
He is no man.
I'm a real boy.
He deceived me. He is Sauron.
What am I to call you?
A sharer of gifts. Our work begins now.
I have walked
that
across
was
mountains
cool.
and deserts to help my friend find his destiny. One the fate of the world may depend on.
Is it my task to stop the fire? Is it my task to face Sauron?
What is this, man?
Might lead to an even greater catastrophe.
Okay.
Take off the ring. I'm afraid, Durin.
Afraid.
Every soul in Middle-earth is in peril. Will you abandon them to their doom?
All right. Tom Bombadil.
No, what have you done to me?
Leave Sauron to me.
Promise me, Elrond. He will not stop until he is destroyed.
Forgiveness takes an age.
Ugh.
An ant wife.
Friend.
Ah.
Fight with me. Fight with our friends!
When the darkness falls, there are always some who rise forth and shine.
The eagle.
You will give me the nine.
Okay. I'm not mad at that. That's cool. Little horse. Okay.
All right, August 29th. All righty. So that's it. Man, All right, first, this thing starts so incredibly confusing because it's like everyone's like,
Yeah.
oh, the rings are going to deceive me. Yes, that's correct. Sauron makes the rings to deceive people. But why are we acting like we don't know that this guy's Sauron? Why are we acting
I don't
like
know.
this ring may or may not be intended for my downfall? And why the crap is Galadriel saying, this ring's not deceiving me, it's guiding me? Like, what nonsense is this?
It does definitely feels like a bunch of nonsense thrown in with a lot of remember berries, like
That's all it
summon the
is.
eagles.
No, all right, let's look. The Balrog,
Yeah.
the Eagles,
The horse
freaking-
riding
the-
is like
the horse
reminiscent of the Riders of Rohan.
the Ents, Everything is like everything they're doing is they're telling a nonsense, non-lore based story that this first season, like contextually, makes us make no sense. Like maybe like this trailer might make sort of sense with the lore of Lord of the Rings if we didn't have season 1, because I feel like, all right, then we are being deceived by a Sauron, right? But the thing is, we know who Sauron is. Galadriel knows who this is. All she has to do is tell people, and you won't be deceived, right?
And
It's
none of the characters are like timeline based correct. Like characters that are supposed to be either hundreds of years later or 100 years previous are like lining up with Galadriel, and this timeline is not working at
well,
all.
Galadriel
the Middle Earth.
literally in the lore of Lord of the Rings, she stays away from Sauron. She stays away from war. She doesn't trust the Anatar, who is Sauron in disguise as an elf, who works with Celebrimbor to craft the rings, right? She stays away from him and doesn't trust him from afar, but she never interacts with him like on a deep level, Anatar up close. And also like the whole thing with Nori and Gandalf, like what are they doing? Why are they making Gandalf's backstory
Bilbo
reliant on
Bilbo and Gandalf story.
I understand. Look, you may want to say that, like, okay, Gandalf has a soft place in his heart for the halflings. All right. And so they're trying to come up with a story that doesn't make sense, that's not in the books, that's not in any type of lore to build that backstory. This is as blasphemous as destroying the backstory and lore of Star Wars with the Acolyte. This is as bad. This is worse, actually, because we have detailed backstory lore and stuff doesn't become not canon because you made a show about it. It's all ridiculous, man. Like, this is just member berries and action sequences and nonsense dialogue that, like, the show better make more sense because this is already ridiculous.
It's not going to, and I don't think it's going to be it's going to be worse than the first season. I will give it a tiny bit of praise though by saying it looks okay. It looks okay.
No.
It looks the outfits and stuff look okay.
All right, so like the battle scene where Elrond is standing there and he's got dirt and crap all over him from battle, that looks fine. All right, I agree. And I liked the pronunciation. It sounded like Elvish when Elrond said when he was going to the battle, he said the word in Elvish. But everything else doesn't make sense. Honestly, like the first season, the only thing that was slightly interesting about characters, in my opinion, was the relationship between Elrond and Durin, right? That was the only thing that, in my mind, I didn't even like it, but I was like, okay, I can tolerate this development of a friendship because it's sort of interesting to me. But everybody else and everything else is so dislikable that this is already leaving a bad taste in my mouth, this trailer. This is supposed to be a triumphant return to say we're going to do something right. And I'm already seeing like, this doesn't make sense. This like literally everything. It doesn't make sense, man.
No,
it doesn't make sense.
Oh.
It doesn't. It's not consistent with the books. It's not consistent with the lore. They brought in a Balrog. They brought in all this different stuff, and it's like you're supposed to be wowed by this, and we're not wowed because you're treating it like garbage. And so I'm not gonna.
You can't just show us big spectacle and say that's good enough, and then just kind of throw in some Lord of the Rings-esque things in here. If the story's not good, I want to be very critical about this. Like, say exactly, specifically what I don't like. The dialogue's not going to be good, and the timelines aren't going to match up to be Lord of the Rings, Silmarillion-based accuracy at all. So, what they're trying to do is just throw you big spectacle. It looks good, big war scenes, big.
Well, the Eagles don't look good, but go ahead. The Eagles look
we only
hammy.
saw that for a sec. I don't know how it's going to look in the show. It might be bad. It might not be. I don't know. But like, big battle scenes, hundreds of horse riding, crowds that look huge, a lot of orcs. It's going to be big spectacle that looks cool on a big screen, but then throw in poor storytelling and poor dialogue, like the dialogue's just not going to be very good.
And
It's
a
not gonna
plot
feel
that's
natural.
inconsistent with itself, right?
So I just I'm tired. If they can't make a good story, don't just give us big spectacle. This is what Marvel's starting to do. It's
Well,
like
it's what they're
not
starting to
good.
do. They've been doing for a
They've been
while,
doing it,
right?
but like give us better dialogue and give us better story. That's what we're craving as, filmmakers or just people that are watching it. That we want
The
good
audience.
stories.
Yes,
Yeah,
and
we
also
don't need big spectacle. Cut back on the budget. We don't need that to
right.
make it a good show if it is a good show.
And so
So
they also
that's what
bring
I
in
think.
they're bringing in Tom Bombadil for this, and like right off the bat,
Yeah.
Tom Bombadil in the book is supposed to be jolly. He like sings songs spontaneously. He's and that's why Peter Jackson kept him out, because he didn't really. You can accomplish the same thing with Tom Bombadil's story from Lord of the Rings as you could with Treebeard, right? So they purposely left him out because he kind
Which
of
maybe
detracted
was not a
from the
good
story.
decision on Peter Jackson.
Look,
Maybe
there's
I'm
debate.
not gonna say that they're gonna do Tom better in this, but maybe that wasn't a good decision on Peter Jackson. Maybe
Look,
it would
so
have been a better story if they kept him in.
I don't know. I honestly probably, if I was Peter Jackson and I was in a room discussing what we're going to plan to do with Tom, I'd probably agree with him and say let's cut. But with this, so Tom Bombadil is supposed to be wearing bright clothes. He's not. He's wearing like a variety of faded dark color clothing. So that's another reason he's kind of a character. He's kind of like an out of place character. And they're trying to match him in the world of Middle Earth, and it just doesn't work because it's like, look, in some ways, he kind of just needs to be a fan favorite of the books and stay out of cinema, because also placing him in this time is incorrect. Like there's no story of Tom Bombadil during the second age of Middle Earth as far as I'm aware, right?
Yeah. I mean, I would agree he probably won't fit. I'm going to wait and watch it. I'll watch a couple episodes for sure, and we'll probably do reviews on them for this channel. If it becomes chaotic, I'm probably going to be like, okay, here's another week. Let's watch the next episode. But I think I want to be critical about it. Say if I like, this fight scene, if it's cool, then I'll be like, this is cool. I don't want to just hate on the whole show because they've gotten things wrong, but I feel like that's what's going to happen. So we'll see when it comes out I already know it's probably going to be bad because we saw the first season, but we'll see, and we're going to watch it and do reviews.
It's not
on
getting
it.
better.
So
it's not getting better.
No. Just, I guess this is a tease. Wait, we'll just watch out on this channel for us to do reviews and breakdowns of every episode.
Yep.
So just catch us.
We'll see you
here.
next time. Subscribe to the channel, like the video if you enjoyed it. Let us know in the comments what this trailer made you feel and how you felt about season 1. We'll see you next time.